Men, men, listen clearly. Listen, please. Young guys, do not level her up. Do not. I've been through it. Do not level a woman up. Don't do it. She's going to repay you in the worst way. You pay for her tuition, you put her at another level, and she's making all this money. The way she's going to thank you, you're not going to be happy about it. Don't do it. But it feels so good and it's so satisfying to know what happened at the end of this story. Oh, justice was served. I love it.
She cheated after I paid her tuition. Now she's working at Wendy's. Hey man, I hope you and your audience are doing well. I've been listening to your channel for a long time now, and I've heard story after story of men getting done dirty by the very women they gave their hearts, their money, and their futures to. I never thought I'd be writing in, but after everything I've been through, I feel like I owe it to myself to get this off my chest and maybe warn the next guy out there. My name is Marley. I'm 38 years old, and this is the story of how my ex-wife betrayed me after I did everything I could to support her dreams, only for her to throw our marriage away over a man who didn't even want her in the end. She ended up ruining not just our marriage, but her career too. And now she's behind the register at Wendy's asking me if I can help pay off her student loans. Let's rewind. How we met. I met my ex-wife Shauna in the most ordinary way at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. She was 24 at the time, finishing up her prerequisites at a community college, and I was 29, working full-time in IT with my own car, condo, and no debt. Shauna was beautiful, no denying it. She had that warm energy that made you feel like you were the most interesting person in the room. She kept going on and on about how hard it was to find a man who had his life together. I remember her saying, "Most of these guys my age don't even know how to do their taxes." I laughed, thinking it was just small talk, but she was genuinely impressed that I wasn't living with roommates, had a retirement account, and cooked my own meals. She loved how structured I was. She used to call me her safe space. Things moved fast. We started dating seriously within a few weeks. I took her out, introduced her to my mom and older sister. She loved being around my family, at least in the beginning. I was stable, reliable. That was the word she kept using. The marriage and the tuition payments. About 2 years into dating, I proposed. I thought I was doing everything right. She was in her last year of school and had just transferred to a university to finish her bachelor's in healthcare administration. She was struggling with tuition and kept saying she didn't want to take out more loans. So I offered to help. I told her I'd cover the rest of her tuition. I didn't want her starting her career in debt. I even went as far as refinancing my car and pulling from my savings. It wasn't an easy decision, but I figured, this is my wife. We're in this together. We got married in a small ceremony a few months later. Nothing flashy, just close family and friends. Shanna cried during her vows, said she couldn't believe God had blessed her with a man like me. I was on top of the world. I thought I was building a future with someone who appreciated me, someone who understood sacrifice. Man, was I wrong. The shift. She graduated and landed a decent job at a mid-sized healthcare firm downtown. She started off making around $60K a year, which was good money for a first job, and I was genuinely proud of her. I even took her out to celebrate, but that's when she changed. Almost overnight, it felt like the warm, appreciative woman I married turned into someone else. She started dressing different, talking different, acting like she was above me. I'd ask how her day went, and she'd roll her eyes and say, "I don't feel like talking right now." The affection disappeared. No more cuddles, no more I love yous. The woman who used to call me her safe space now treated me like an obligation. At first, I thought maybe she was just stressed from the new job, trying to prove herself. So I gave her space, tried to be understanding, picked up more chores around the house, cooked more, didn't pressure her for intimacy, but the attitude just got worse. She started staying late at work. Networking, she said. Team dinners, she claimed. But every time I asked questions, she'd get defensive. I should have trusted my gut. Discovering the affair. It wasn't until I noticed her texting someone nonstop, always smiling at her phone, that I knew something was up. She changed her passcode, started sleeping with her phone under the pillow, all the red flags. One day, she left her work laptop open when she went to take a shower. I didn't even plan to snoop, but the screen lit up and I saw a message from a guy named Troy. Turns out, Troy was her boss, married with kids, twice divorced already. The messages between them were explicit. I'm talking late night rendezvous, hotel meetups, I can't stop thinking about you nonsense. The kind of stuff that made me sick to my stomach. This was the man she risked everything for. The same dude who, in the text, kept saying, I'm not leaving my wife, and let's just enjoy the moment. That's when I realized she didn't just betray me. She sold herself a fantasy, thinking her boss was going to leave his wife for her. Spoiler, he didn't. The fallout, and I confronted her. She didn't even deny it. Her exact words were, You don't understand, Marley. He makes me feel alive. What? I stood there, silent, blinking in disbelief. This woman just told the man who paid off her tuition, married her, and gave her a stable life, that another man made her feel alive? I moved out that weekend, filed for divorce the following Monday. My lawyer, who I will forever be grateful for, gave me some advice. Wait until the divorce is final, then take this to HR. That's exactly what I did. Once the ink was dry, we sent the messages and screenshots to her company's HR department. And guess what? Both of them got fired. Her boss got slapped with a sexual misconduct investigation because this wasn't his first time. His wife filed for divorce and took him to the cleaners. As for Shauna, she couldn't find work in her field again. Word got around fast. Her name was mud in that industry. From 6 figures to the fry station. About 8 months after the divorce, I was grabbing lunch at a Wendy's not far from my job. I walked in, and who do I see behind the counter wearing a visor and a headset? Shauna. She froze. I smiled. She looked like she had seen a ghost. Makeup smudged, bags under her eyes, hair pulled back in a cheap scrunchie. That was not the confident woman who used to walk around our condo like she was untouchable. She asked if I wanted to talk. Out of curiosity, I sat down. She brought over my order, sat at the table during her break, and said, I'm sorry. I made a huge mistake. I didn't realize what I had until I lost it. I nodded. Let her talk. Then she said the wildest thing I've ever heard. Do you think you could help me with some of my student loan payments just until I'm back on my feet? I looked her dead in the eye and said, Hell no. Then I got up, walked out with my meal, and never looked back. Final thoughts. Look, I didn't write this to gloat. I didn't write this to say, ha ha ha, look at her now. I wrote this because too many good men out there are getting used, manipulated, and discarded the moment their woman starts making more money or gets a taste of power. Don't ever let someone make you feel less than for doing the right thing. I did everything by the book. I supported her, loved her, invested in her future, and she still cheated. Let that be a lesson. You can be the perfect husband, and it still won't be enough for the wrong woman. Fellas, if you're dating a woman and she starts acting different once her money changes, pay attention. If she stops appreciating you, if she stops being kind, if she starts disrespecting you, leave. Your peace is priceless. Your self-respect is non-negotiable. And if you ever find yourself wondering if you're being too nice, remember, it's not about being nice. It's about being with someone who values what you bring to the table. These days, I'm doing great. Bought a new car, upgraded my place, and I'm hitting the gym consistently. I'm not in a rush to date again. I'm just enjoying the peace, real peace, the kind you only get when no one is yelling at you for asking how their day went. I can leave out this satisfaction. Sometimes they crash and burn. Sometimes karma comes in installments. And sometimes, as I recently learned, they don't just lose everything, they lose themselves. The message I never expected. It was a Sunday afternoon, a few months after that Wendy's encounter. I was at my mom's house helping her with her new phone when I got a text from an unknown number. It was a long message that started with, "I know you probably hate me, and I deserve that, but I really don't have anyone else to talk to. Please don't block me." It was Shanna. I stared at the screen for a few minutes before I even finished reading it. I showed it to my mom, who, by the way, was the biggest supporter of our marriage before everything went to hell, and her response was simple: "Don't respond." But I was curious. I clicked on the message thread and kept reading. She went on to tell me that she had been evicted from her apartment 2 weeks ago. She'd been couch surfing between friends' places, but most had started distancing themselves. She admitted she was behind on her car note, and Wendy's had cut her hours. She said, "I'm not eating most nights. I cry myself to sleep, and sometimes I don't even want to wake up." Now, before anybody starts feeling sorry for her, let me say this. I do not wish harm on her. I didn't smile when I read that. I wasn't happy to hear she was suffering, but I wasn't surprised either. From power suit to parking lot, this is the same woman who once looked me in the face and said her boss made her feel alive. The same woman who said I didn't understand her anymore, that I was too routine, and that she wanted more out of life. Well, now she's living out of her car. She had a great job, a loving husband, and no debt, and she threw it all away for some married man who never saw her as anything more than a fling. Apparently, after she got fired, she burned through her savings trying to keep up the lifestyle she'd gotten used to. She was still trying to wear designer clothes and go out with the girlfriends like she hadn't lost everything. She was using credit cards to survive, and now they're all maxed out. She said she's been applying to jobs, but once employers Google her name and see the HR scandal attached to it, they ghost her. No one wants the woman who got fired for sleeping with her boss, especially not in healthcare admin. Reputation matters there. She told me she felt like she was drowning and didn't know who she was anymore. The guilt trip attempt. Then came the kicker. "I know I messed up, Marley. I really do. But you always had a good heart. And I need someone who cares if I make it through this." That line hit me. Not because I felt bad for her, but because it was so manipulative. She's not reaching out because she's sorry. She's reaching out because she's out of options. If Troy, her old boss, had divorced his wife and taken her in, she wouldn't be texting me. If her friends hadn't cut her off, she wouldn't be looking for sympathy. And if her new freedom had actually worked out, I would have been just a memory in her rearview mirror. But now that her fantasy life has collapsed, she wants the man she betrayed to help save her. It's almost poetic how fast life comes at you when you stop appreciating what you have. I didn't respond. I never replied. I sat with that message for a few days, and even though I thought about saying something, maybe even just, "I hope you find help," I knew that any reply would only open the door to more guilt trips, more manipulation, more begging. And truth be told, I don't owe her a damn thing. Not after what she did. Word on the street. A week later, my buddy Rico, who used to work security in her building, called me. He told me Shauna had been seen sleeping in her car in the back of a grocery store parking lot. Security had to ask her to leave. He said she looked rough, thinner than before, hair matted, like she hadn't showered in days. Rico isn't the kind of dude who gossips, so when he told me, I knew it was bad. He also said she told one of her old coworkers that she was thinking about ending it all. She said she felt like she had no future, no way out, no one who truly loved her. And again, I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I'm not built like that. But I also didn't forget the hell she put me through. I lost sleep. I lost weight. I questioned my worth. I sat in therapy sessions trying to understand why the woman I gave everything to could throw it all away for a man who barely saw her as human. I had to rebuild myself from the ground up. So while I do feel sorry that she's struggling, I also believe this is the reality of her choices. She wanted independence. She wanted the thrill. She wanted to feel alive. Well, now she's alone, broke, and facing reality without the parachute I used to be. To any man reading this, let me speak directly to the men listening to your channel. Don't play Captain Save a Cheater. Don't rush in to rescue a woman from the consequences of her own destruction, especially when she destroyed you in the process. We live in a world where men are constantly told to do more, forgive more, provide more. But when we get betrayed, there's no safety net, no sympathy, no viral campaigns calling for our healing. You have to learn how to protect your peace. I don't hate Shauna, but I also don't have it in me to carry her pain. That's her cross to bear, not mine. Where I am now, life's been good, actually better than good. I got a promotion a couple months back, bought myself a used Jeep Wrangler as a weekend car. I've been going on solo hikes, reading more, and connecting with my nephew, teaching him how to be a man in a world that's trying to make men feel disposable. I'm not dating yet. Honestly, I don't know if I ever will. My trust isn't broken, it's just recalibrated. These days, I look for peace, purpose, and quiet joy. I don't need chaos dressed as passion. I don't need a pretty face hiding a black hole of insecurity and greed. I've learned to enjoy solitude. That's something most people never master. And once you do, you stop accepting crumbs from people who should have been grateful for your feast. Final thought. Shauna's downfall wasn't just karma, it was inevitable. You can't build your life on lies and think you'll get to keep the house. Eventually, it all comes crashing down. To the guys listening, love wisely, invest cautiously, and always keep something for yourself. Don't pour your whole soul into someone who doesn't have the capacity to pour back. Because when the storm hits, and it always does, you'll be glad you kept your foundation. Thanks again, man. Appreciate you giving guys like me a voice.